What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This your boy Barrel Keys. I'm back with We Be Jammin Live, and my co-host for today is Guy, creating change. How you doing, Guy?
Howdy, my friend. I appreciate y'all having me. Howdy to everybody out there. Appreciate y'all being here. Happy to be rocking and rolling with you, my man.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be back in the studio, man. It's been missing it a little bit, so I'm
Yeah.
glad to be back traveling around. With this month being Women's History Month, we wanted to highlight some of the women and unfortunately, some of my guests couldn't be here, but we have some guests that are going to be popping in and out. So I
Yep.
hope y'all are ready for a good show. Just to start this show off, though, I'm going to play a video from one of my good friends. She was on The Voice, and she plays here in Kentucky, uh, and she's just a phenomenal singer. And we played in a couple bands together. So to start the show off, I'm just going to play a quick video of my friend Holly Forbes.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right. We worked up this song and weren't sure about playing it, but we're gonna do it. So. Happy New Year, guys! 2022! Woo!
I'm gonna end it right there. End it right there. Uh, what's going on with our layouts, guy?
There you
Anyway,
go. That's all right. We're here.
we got it now. We got it now.
That's right.
Yeah, that's my good friend Holly Forbes. She's out of Kentucky. She's amazing.
That
She,
man, awesome.
she was on The Voice. She sang that song right out the gate. Got a 4-chair turn, which is like the best you could do at the blind audition.
Yeah.
She went on to be on Ariana's team, Ariana Grande's team.
Yeah.
She went pretty far, uh, but she's she's an amazing talent, and she's so humble. Like she comes and
Yeah.
does the senior uh Christmas dinner for my 9 to 5, and they all love her, and she comes in and just sings Christmas songs
Yeah.
and just
A lot
does
of
it.
talent come from that part of the world too. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
talent.
I mean,
It
and
made me
that
think of
stage,
Loretta Lynn.
right, and
Y
that stage
you know?
itself uh had like the who's who of this area, of the tri-state area. Uh, so like you had people up there who are winning awards and
Yeah.
on X, Y, and Z albums and stuff like that, and they were all just having fun out there, and it's good to be able to showcase them because she's an amazing talent that you wouldn't even know that she's you know
Yep. Well,
right
and
now.
as a musician, we both know that, man, when you get those little opportunity, and that's not a little opportunity, but when you get those opportunities to be in front, I mean, because that's your pay, is getting in front of people.
Yeah,
When you're just starting, you're not even searching for money, you're searching for your fans. And to get an opportunity to elevate yourself in that kind of way and maybe capitalize on what that gives you and use it in a way to keep your music going, man, to I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is to figure out how to turn it into a little bit of money to be able to keep going and playing a little bit and playing next weekend. Or
yeah, but it was so cool. That's
yeah,
Holly Forbes. If y'all want to go check her out, you can find her
great
anywhere.
job,
Holly
man.
Forbes
Great
music.
job.
She's amazing. I would go check out her voice run. All right. So it looks like our guest has arrived, and
Awesome.
I don't even know this person, and I'm so glad to have them want to join us, and I'm so excited just to get to see who you are and just to get to hear your story. So we're gonna bring to the stage our guest, Justina Lee Black.
Yes.
There. Hi, you
Yeah.
guys.
How,
Hello.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. Sorry about the delay. Had a
Oh,
little bit of a malfunction, but I got here.
hey, we all have them. It all happens. But we
Yeah.
glad you're here. Uh,
Yeah, thank you.
so you know,
Looking good. What's going on there? Look at you guys. Amazing.
I don't know anything about you. So why don't you tell us who Justina Lee Black is?
Yeah.
Who Justina Lee Black is? Well, a lot of people know me as a multifaceted individual, which is very unique because I had a multifaceted life today. Actually, I was actually born in the 60s. I was a teenager in the 70s, and I learned about music early in life. I got my guitar, first guitar I had, I was 8 years old. My mother bought me a guitar after seeing one of those little shows, those family shows back in the day. And, you had to push the button on the TV to get the channel playing. And there was a guitarist. And I was like, what is that? Yeah, that's how I learned about music. And so, I want to say more than anything, I'm a singer-songwriter with a passion just for loving on people. And I take my experiences in life and I write about them through music. And that's the most important thing I want to let people know about. And I do so many other cool things. I'm a puppeteer. I do children's puppet shows, and they're musical puppet shows called Lady J and the Puppetones, and I incorporate music that way.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I just had such a joy for just bringing experiences to life through music and other people's experiences too. So that's really what I want people to know mostly about me.
All right, all right.
Love it.
So uh, as as a puppeteer and a singer songwriter, um, what are some of your influences? Who are some of the people that you grew up listening to,
Ooh.
listen to now that I inspire you to keep going?
I have lots of influences. It's really interesting that early on I found out that I share a birthday with George Harrison.
All right.
And it's very interesting that sometimes I feel like some of my songs are very similar to how he wrote. Interesting enough, too, is the guy that I worked with for 8 years on a project called Justina's Secret that was in the 90s. He shared a birthday with John Lennon.
Oh wow.
So the two of us were a powerhouse.
Yeah, that's good.
And so that was really interesting the way that went down. And but I think when I think of my influences, I really like how Melissa Etheridge writes and sings. Very, very similar to acoustic rock,
Yeah.
storytelling with a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just so many great female singers, songwriters, Carly Simon that I grew up with, and Carole King, and
Yeah, Carole
Karen
King.
Carpenter. Some of the old greats, from back in that era.
Yeah.
And there's greats today like Adele and Christina Aguilera, and just they just come up through the ages. There's so many great female singer songwriters. Also, what comes to mind is the Heart Sisters,
Yeah.
and in the 70s was like a boom of women singer-songwriters that just really, we had them in the 60s, but really in the 70s,
Yeah.
they really came alive, and we kind of, showed who we were. The one that opened up singer-songwriters early on was Dolly Parton. I don't know if
Okay.
you ever knew her story.
Oh yeah.
Wow, talk
Yeah.
about a powerhouse.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
In
she's
the
a great
days of Porter
songwriter.
Wagner and on, man. I
Yeah.
mean, what a journey.
Yeah, and I've there's just so many singers, Whitney Houston, and oh gosh, you just go on and on. I love them all. But I play acoustic guitar, so
Awesome.
that's why I really, fall back if somebody wants to know more of, how I sound and my flavor. Melissa Etheridge always kind of stays, as a focus of mine.
Yeah.
Really, really admire the way she writes and plays. Yeah, and we're about the same age too, so it's really cool to follow her around.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about your experience of performing, going through these years, and how styles have changed over the time. Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, what's interesting about performing, and I know a lot of other people feel the same way as I do, but I still get butterflies.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you just want to be really good.
Yeah.
Early on, when I was working on this project called Justina's Secret, it was right after, it was in my 30s. I was always in a choir in high school and junior high school and all that. So, surrounded by all these other people. And and I wrote this song. I presented it to my friend from high school. Oh, do I have an echo?
You're good.
Sounds like an echo a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of wrote this song in my head a cappella, and but I was afraid to sing it to people. So Benny Crusoe, who was my friend and producer back then, he said, let's just go in the street and we'll open up the guitar case and we'll sit in Detroit and just sing to people, get my yayas out that way. So that's what we did. And that's how I kind of started learning how to be a solo artist by hanging out on the corner, doing, singing like that. And that got my confidence up. And so we started that project, and I played congas and guitar, and he would do he would record all the music, the bass, the guitar, the drums, all the instruments. We did like pre-karaoke. And he did everything. And the music would come through the keyboard and I would sing live. It was just the two of us doing, the gigs before we built the whole band. And that's what really helped me learn how to get my confidence up and start singing in front of people. And we wrote dozens and dozens and dozens of songs. And it's just, it was such a treat to work with somebody that was a prodigy and so, interesting. Sometimes I would just like sing a song over the phone, and he'd, oh, I got this, and he'd come back with this whole, orchestra and just amazing. Yeah, it was really, really cool. That's how I started. And then just through the years, I with the band, being with the full band, but the bands have a huge different dynamics because you're working with so many personalities. And anybody that's been in a band knows it's, a band that's been around for a really long time. It's very special.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to do. Yeah, it's really hard to do. And so we went in and out of having different band members, but it was really fun doing festivals and a lot of gigs just in and out of the Detroit area. Being on the road and doing that for a little while was pretty cool.
Yeah, and what a time period to be doing it in too. I mean, that's killer. That's killer because I feel like I missed I would have loved to. If I could have just been born 10 years earlier, it's I was born in the 70s, but there was just so many cool things that happened that I was already I was just a baby. So it was already over with. And it's like, man, I would have fit in well at that,
Yeah.
I missed that time. I would have been really awesome in the 60s and 70s. I would have been cool,
Yeah, there was some great music that came out, and I always think, we talked about love and all kinds of cool things, and we never had to swear.
Yeah.
It was kind of subliminal. The message was subliminal, you kind of figured it out,
That is so cool. What an era.
The music definitely, the language of the music definitely changed. Like we all was speaking English, but y'all have a more subtle way of saying things, more creative. I think a lot of music right now is just one. It is because all the creative and the subtle ways of saying certain things was used up.
And there was a lot of first times that was developed during that time period, during that time frame. There was electric and just different styles of melding different styles together, and just a whole conglomeration of things just started coming together during those time periods. And I was just talking about it the other day on my live show, and it was during that time, I feel like that when I hear music now, a lot of times I hear people still chasing that sound, chasing that sound from back then. They're still trying to find a way to make it work for them. But I hear man, they're still shooting for that. They're shooting for them sounds that we all grew up that was that was killer, man. That's what brought you here. That's what made you want to do it.
Absolutely.
But that's
definitely
awesome.
Made a comeback. The sync. I write for sync music now, which is for commercial TV, cable, sound bits. It could, and they really want to start hearing, music, old time rock and roll again.
Yeah.
They're calling out for that, and for cover tunes too, to recreate cover tunes in a new vein, because it's. They want to hear the old songs, but they don't want to pay $50,000 to an artist.
True that.
They can pay somebody, a fraction of the amount, and we're just happy to, just to be part of it. So yeah, you're right. It's really made a comeback full circle.
Yeah, it has. It has, and I've seen an uptick in just the it just feels like that these days we are flooded with some bull crap because just anybody can throw about anything out there. But there's also so many awesome musicians that you're like, who is this? Where did this person come
Yeah.
from, man? Where
More
have
than
you been all my life? Like what? But that's the beautiful part. It's like, okay, you've got to sift through some nonsense, but man, there's those hidden gems that you're like mind blown. You find them and you're like, where have you been?
love it. And
why
we
didn't
can
I-
work with people all over the world now.
all over the world. Yes.
I wrote a Christmas song called It's Finally Christmas. It was the first song I wrote right when we came out of COVID
Oh, nice.
with a guy from Montana.
That's super cool.
And it's just, and my reference song, you know, as an artist, you know, we do use songs that are referenced sometimes. You know, I was in an organization. It was kind of like a songwriting group back during COVID, and we would have to think of a reference song, they called it. You know, and I wanted to write a Christmas album. I'm like, well, Christmas, you know, nobody's hugging anymore. Nobody can see each other anymore, you know. And so I thought of the Mariah Carey song.
Oh, yeah.
And her big popular song. So so that's kind of how I started it, was, you know, kind of like talking and, you know, and then went into the jingle bells and stuff. And I did that through that group of people. There were 300 of us that joined this group, this class, if you will. And this guy from Montana, yeah, I sent him my tracks over online, and we critiqued them back and forth. And I sent him my vocals, and he sent me the music. And wow,
Yeah.
love
So-
that.
So, Justina, we had a couple questions come through the chat, and the first one was, where are you from?
Originally from Detroit. I was born in Detroit. Yeah. I never lived in Detroit. My mom and dad did. And then when they got married, they moved out to the suburbs. And but I grew up in the country. Well, not really the country. I grew up in the suburbs, but when I had my children, I moved out to the countryside. And being a part of nature is really special to me.
Yeah. Okay. And the other one was where, and this is going to be a two-part question because I'm a compound on it. Where can we listen to your music, and will you share a song with us?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, my website is justinaleeblack.com. Most of my music is on Reverb Nation. That's kind of my hub, reverbnation.com, Justina Lee Black. But but on my website, you can get to all my different links. So that would be the best place to go, is justinaleeblack.com. As far as sharing a song, how would I do that?
Well,
Or would you do that for me?
yeah, I can look that up too. But will you do one a cappella for us?
Oh, sing one a cappella?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Actually, the song's been on my mind a whole heck of a lot lately. I never finished recording it all the way. It was the very, very first song that I introduced to Benny Caruso when I first wanted to do music with him after high school. And it was something I wrote a cappella in the shower. Those things really happen. And a lot of the songs I write are very timeless. And it was about being really mad about what was going on in the world and not having any control over it. And so it's kind of an angry song. It's like a power ballad, and it's called World Took Over Me. And the world is the darkness, the demons, all the bad parts of the world. But I called it the world because we're not really of the world. We're of God. And, you know, we're spiritual beings. And so, you know, we're of the world here in this life, but, you know, spiritually we'll be in heaven. So if we're so lucky.
Absolutely.
That's my goal, you know, bringing people to Christ. So, so yeah, let me give this a try.
Awesome.
Goes like this. I finally realized as age took over me, the world's a terrible place to live. It's a terrible place to be. I can't stand it anymore. People are evil as can be. The selfish desires of money and flesh, the world has come to be. My heart has turned to stone, and I know of myself to protect my own beliefs. I've thrown love off the shelf as I look in the mirror. Image that I see is a person filled with hate and fear as the world took over me. I said the world took over me. I said the world took over me. There you go.
Outstanding.
Hey, that's
Something like
powerful.
that.
Those words are
Yeah.
powerful. I already know.
Outstanding. And I commend you for being able to do it on the fly. There's a specialness that comes with being able to say, "Yep, I can do that. I like that answer. Yep, I can do that.
Wow.
I like
Yeah.
that."
Yeah. I really need to get that recorded properly. I have it on a flash drive and it's like almost there. And there was a little hiccup in the studio between the technicians and the producers, and that band thing that sometimes happens. And I got caught up, and I'm like in the studio with the headphones in, and I'm looking, and I'm like, what are they arguing about? What's going on? What's happening out there? And the guy goes running out, and I'm like, what happened? And it's like, oh, well, he left and we're done for the day. And I was like, wow, you mean I can't finish? So the song's still sitting there. So,
That's
I'm
awesome.
shooting out to the world,
Okay.
and I've reached out to other people to help get that song finished. And nobody wants to take my challenge on. I can, maybe I need just to push a little more, and get it out there. But it's a really unique song. I can play it on my guitar. It took me a while. It's really intricate, but it's because I wrote it a cappella like that, and then Ben wrote the Benny Cruz.
Sometimes the chords are off chords when you do them a cappella like that, and you try to hunt them down. You'll be like, "Where's that? Where am I at when I do that?"
Yeah, in fact, I was just such a novice songwriter back then, but now it's, things are a little different,
Yeah.
But producers, amazing what a good producer can put together. Wow. Amazing how they hear things and they visualize the story.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give a lot of credit. I've had some great producers in my life really make my music come to life. So thank you for all your producers out there.
Oh yeah, you gotta give it up to your producers. So, one, you have an amazing story, and you have an amazing voice, and I thank you for it. Like God said, just jumping in on the fly, because a lot of singers we
Hard to
can't
do.
do it. We can't
It's
do it.
hard to do.
Yeah, it's real hard to do, especially when in the middle of like just talking and conversating, you're like, oh, just sing us a song. Why don't you just sing
Yeah.
us a song? Sing me
Yeah.
something.
Just something real quick.
Uh,
I appreciate you. There's something that you said that is real interesting, and a lot of people who are listening right now and may listen in the future may not know what you're talking about, and I really want you to touch on it. Can you please tell us about sync licensing and sync music, and what that world entails?
Yeah, even back then in the early days, we were writing what's called jingles, for commercial. But now with cable TV and the thousands and thousands of channels and advertising, I mean, if you really listen, there's music behind just about anything.
Yeah.
It really is. And so they call it sync licensing, which is syncopated. You think of, I don't even know really where the term came from,
Like
but it's basically commercial writing. And you can take a song like what I just sang, and they might just want, the chorus or a little line or something that reminds them of what's going on in that scene of a song. For instance, I wrote a song. You can find it on one of those on my JustinaLeeBlack.com. It's called "Why Me," and I put it on Facebook. And it was the first song I did that was kind of like bluesy, but then I had a rap artist come in, kind of like what Eminem did, and
Okay.
this rap artist come in from Detroit, and he did, a rap part of the song, and it was so cool. And I was like, oh man, I'm doing something urban. This is cool,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I put it on Facebook, and this people were, cruising around, and this guy heard it, and he wrote a movie called Brotherhood. And in the scene of Brotherhood, it was like a Karate Kid type of movie, and it was about these two brothers from Italy who came to the United States, and they were bullied, and they ended up, opening a karate studio and being, popular and famous. It's a true story. I mean, these guys really do have a karate studio. And there was a scene where, as a child, he was sitting on the bed and he was crying, and he was like, why me? Why me? Why me? And so they heard my song from Facebook.
Awesome.
Isn't that cool? And he's like, he contacts me. He's like, that's perfect for this scene. So that's so they use that this really moody kind of, and then the vocals came in, and I was just, that was so cool. So that's kind of, and they used it in that scene. Because of the fact what I was singing about met what they were portraying at that very moment of this, and it was kind of like, I actually wrote the song as a suicide awareness song. We had a campaign for suicide awareness. I was actually a talk show host for a little while back in Romeo, Michigan. Romeo, Michigan is where Kid Rock grew up. Yeah. And that's where my kids went to high school. And I went into the studio there, the home little studio where they do football games and all that. And they wanted programming. So I says, well, if I give you programming, will you let me make music videos? So they let me make music videos. That's awesome. So I put a talk show together, and it was all based around music. Yeah,
I was working on a barter system right there.
Yeah, networking. Yeah. So and the guys from that movie, I had them come into the studio, their whole crew. It was so cool. We did a photo session, and we interviewed everybody about suicide awareness. Cool, yeah, so that's how the song was written, was through this, suicide awareness program that I was doing. And then come to find out, the bullying kind of goes hand in hand, because a lot of times when kids get bullied, they want to commit suicide.
True that.
So that's where that campaign came in. Yeah, that was really cool.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. I've gotten some luck in, some sync licensing that's being a keyboardist. So, if I get I've done a movie score, and I've done a jingle, and I've done that, but knowing somebody who's actually like, they put a song out and somebody was like, oh, I gotta have that, that's amazing. Just to be able to hear that story and be like, man, it can really happen. It's really work.
Yeah, it's amazing. And they say, don't think you're writing for sync licensing, just write from your heart. Just write. And if you do it from your heart, somebody's going to feel that. Yeah. And, the timing's right and everything. And if you do the work and you put yourself out there, and there's a lot of sync agents on Facebook. You can just like Google syncs, SYNC, and, you'll see, all kinds of information coming up about licensing and how to do it, and putting your music in libraries, and how to just work that part of the business. But that's really where it's at nowadays. If you really want to make money, performing's great. It's fun. It's a lot of work. If anybody's ever been on the road and set up and break down.
And keeping a band together is a lot of work. Let's be honest. That's harder than any of the shows. That's harder than anything is keeping everybody happy. Keeping everybody happy because musicians are weird people, and I'm talking about myself. Everybody, you got some weird people in there, and it's hard to keep everybody
Oh, you're
happy.
funny that you say that. Yeah,
It
bunch of
just
weirdos. But you know what? They're the best, coolest crew,
they
though.
are.
You
They
know,
are.
I couldn't say that I couldn't. You can't live without them. You know, it's almost
Yeah.
like drummers. I always say you can't live with a drummer. You can't live without a drummer.
True. True.
It's an old wise saying in
True.
my circle of friends. You know, can't live with them. Can't live without them. You know, the
True
poor
that.
background people that are looking at everybody's butts. What fun is that? No wonder they got an attitude.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. They ain't got the best view in the world. They ain't got it.
World.
Yeah. But there's a lot of places you can find out about sheet music nowadays,
cool.
you know, and how to get educated and how to get connected. But just like anything else, mostly it's about relationships. And it's about having enough material, because when we get you get like an email, I mean, it's crazy. And like, all right, you have 24 hours. This is what we're looking for. And this is what it needs to sound like, you know, and they give you all these reference songs. And, you know, so if you have a big library, then you can kind of, you know, this is what they're looking for. And this is the sound. You can pick and choose. So, you know, my best advice, if you want to get in that, you know, line of work, which is the best line of work to get into in music right now, is make sure you have enough material and have it categorized, know where it's at, and have it, you know, ready to go, and, you know, have it licensed and have it copywritten and have everything ready to go, and all your metadata, if anybody knows about metadata in the digital world, you know, it's so important because that's how you get royalties. And, you know, people, you know, when somebody Googles something, or I shouldn't say Google, when they search for something, you know, just like suicide awareness, you know, that would be one of my topics, my metadata would say, you know, and then they would get, you know, all these artists and songs that have something to do with that. And then they can pick and sort and stuff. So it's a lot of work, you know, to put one song together. There's really a lot of background work, but just like anything else, once it's done, it's done forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's for anybody out there that's listening and is looking for, you know, if you ever wonder what kind of jobs are out there for musicians,
I'm gonna look into it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna look into it. I mean,
turn off your TV and just watch the commercials and see how many songs pop up in those commercials and how many different songs pop up in those commercials. And if you got that kind of music, go ahead and put it out there, because there's somebody that's looking for it. I know when I've done my own a couple productions and stuff like that, and I worked on some other podcasts and stuff, when they would go and tell a story and they're like, "Hey, we need something to put behind the story. Can you write something to put behind the story?" It's like, "Nah, I can't always write something for you. But I know somebody out there has written something for this specific topic that you're talking about right now. All we have to do is go find it, and it'll take me.
It's out there.
It's out there. Somebody's got it.
Yeah.
Well,
everything. And they take just the music sometimes too. They might like the dynamics of the music and just pull the lyrics away, you know, so you have to prepare, you know, for that too. But, you know, there's so many great organizations where you can learn about sync music, and you just like anything else, you got to search and get involved and start a community and build your network. And people are always in this industry. We're like a family, and people are always willing to help out. It's just been amazing if you put yourself out there enough and start saying, hey, you know, which I need to do with World Took Over Me, because I was kind of afraid to release that song because it was an angry song, but people get angry.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know, and it's just like, no, this song needs to be heard, because, you know, there is a lot of horrible things going on in the world, and it just, I had that feeling in I was like, gosh, the world is just taking what's wrong with people? Why are they doing this? What are they doing this? And war and yeah. So it's okay. I've learned it's okay. I wanted all my songs to be happy songs, but I went to a songwriting conference when I was I lived in Las Vegas for a little while. And I drove out to California to Orange County, and I did a songwriting conference, and I had a demo of that song, and I played it, and I thought, I don't know, I think I need a happy ending for this song, and I wanted people to go away being angry, and out of the mouth of babes, and this 18-year-old girl, ish, says to me, "No, I cease to agree." She's like, it's okay for people to be angry.
That's right.
She says, it's how you feel. Don't change it. It's fine just the way it is.
Yeah.
Very
And
true.
I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right, girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it the way it is.
All right. Yeah, you gotta leave it because especially right now, and people need an outlet of how they're feeling. They might just put on your song and be like, "Well, by the end of this song, I'll be all right. My day will be able to
Knowing
go."
somebody else went through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Relatable. Yeah.
lot of
Thanks for that.
A lot of people don't realize that they're not the only ones experiencing these kind of emotions, and that's where music can really guide us through some of this stuff. Like, you're not alone in feeling this. You can see how many people have just streamed this song because they are also feeling this, or uh, somebody wrote this. They're also feeling this, and
So true.
the musicians who are on it, they to be authentic, they have to somewhat feel what the songwriter was, talking about, and it's you got to leave.
It's the greatest reward as a songwriter. I would get emails once in a while or now, DMs. And it's so amazing when somebody says, "You spoke to me." I was like, my song. I needed to hear that. And I'm like, job well done.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, very special.
All right, Jesse, we're gonna pull up some of your music. Both me and Big Jack, who's behind the scenes. Thank you, Big Jack, for being behind the scenes. We both pulled up a song, so we're gonna play one now, and then I have some more questions for you, and then we're gonna play another one. Okay?
You're just like doing something random on me, just picking a song. Okay, let me hear which one you picked.
So, Big Jack, if you got it pulled up, we'll go with yours first, and then we'll go with the one I pulled up after.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Why me? Why me? I feel so low. I've got nowhere to go. Why me? Why me? Why me? I can't hide the pain. I'll never be the same. I'm feeling so alone. Why me? Why me? Why me? My heart beats with pain. I'm standing in the rain. I can't face another day. I wanna take my pain away. Take my pain away. Why me? Why me? These choices that I make, well, I have to take the path all alone. The world that life got me through the struggle that I'm in. Back up, Sonny, looking like a fool, pushing people around, trying to act cool. This ain't gonna make you tough. Plenty people got it rough, starting at their homes. If you see them stressing, leave them alone. Keep it stepping. Life's not a competition. Dude, right? No hesitation. Make light of the situation. Go ahead and start the conversation. Share each other's interests with no regrets. Now put the hate to rest. And I see the light, and I know I've gotta fight to reach another day. Yeah, I've gotta pray to fight away the pain. Yeah, to reach another day. I gotta search my soul. I know I'm not alone. It's me. Won't walk alone, won't stand alone. I'm me. Won't walk alone, won't stand alone. Set yourself free, set yourself free.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's go. Outstanding.
Definitely. Hey, that was great. That's such a good contrast too. Like,
Yeah.
we got
Well,
your singer songwriter style, and just by the way, you have an amazing voice, but you have the voice that when somebody says I'm a singer songwriter, that's the voice that pops in my head when I think about those words.
Mhm.
Like you embody the singer songwriter, but the
thank
contrast of
you.
having like a rapper on top of that's really
That's
cool.
dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and those were his.
Yeah.
That was his lyric, his whole idea. Straight from him. Just hearing that snippet of the song. Yeah, he came up with that. Nelly. Yeah, he's
That's
really
awesome.
amazing. Yeah, super cool guy. That was actually recorded by a high school student behind the studio that I worked at. That I wanted them. I was just talking about. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really
It
cool.
was so cool. The high school dude. Like,
Hmm.
it's like I never did a music video. I'm just follow me.
Yep. It
You
was
know.
good. It's very impactful too. It's very impactful. You can feel what you were talking about. You can feel the emotion. And the video
Yeah.
was just exactly what it needed to be. Honestly,
Thank you. It was so fun. And it really was worthy for me because, just letting people know that life is worth living. And, the next day, we just got to make it to the next day,
Hmm.
and praying is great because God does answer prayers. We got to have faith. We got to stay focused. We got to believe in ourselves and get rid of the noise from
Yeah.
the naysayers. There's a lot of naysayers. And yeah, so just get to the next day. That's the
Absolutely.
best advice I could tell
Next
people.
minute sometimes is
Yeah,
enough.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
indeed, though. I like that. I like that.
so
Thank you.
Justina, uh, this is going to get a little deeper in the conversation, and sometimes we gloss over these kinds of things. Um, as a woman who was in the music industry, how has your experience been? Because right now in West Virginia, because I'm in West Virginia, and right now in West Virginia we have a push from our female artists to be featured more in festivals and not just like their own night, but just all around in general. Featured as not just like one or two on a bill, but like we should be included just like we're regular musicians. And
But we are regular musicians.
yeah, you are regular musicians, but
I know.
right
I
now
know
in
where
West
you're going
Virginia,
with that.
it's like a big push right now to like change the mindset of people who are booking bills and putting together festivals or putting together shows and like you know why are you not treating us all the same? We're all the same. We're real musicians just like you. Why So, can you give us a little
Exactly.
bit of your experience as uh, a female musician, and give us a little insight of how that's been for you?
I'll tell
I'll
you
tell
what
you what,
I
I
have
have
learned is don't give up the spotlight for somebody else. I've done that a couple times, too many, and it didn't work out for me. It didn't benefit me trying to be the nice person, you know. And yeah, looking back, hindsight, it's like, why did I give up my spot for somebody else, you know, and so yeah, we need to let, the world know that, we are equals in the line of work, and we should, just like everybody else, get paid equal and get the same time. And, you know, but it's a masculine world and men are the leaders. I mean, it's biblical, we get that. But in life, yeah, we need to make sure that, we're treated the same and we get the same advantages. It's really interesting because I live in the Florida Keys right now, and it's very musical down here in the Florida Keys, but there's not too many female singers, songwriters, any female bands down here at all. And I know I've been here almost 20 years on and off from Michigan down to Florida Keys. So I'm pretty well known. I mean, you come down to Middle Keys, people know who Justina Lee Black is. But I have had a problem here, not as much in Michigan, but here fronting a band. It's like the guys don't want the limelight taken away from them. I hate to say this, guy, but that's how I feel. It's very ironic I bring this up because I was at a gig last night and I randomly went to this place, popular bar for my friend's birthday. And I'm like, oh, there's Billy on the drums. And oh, that's Alex on guitar. And oh, I know the bass player. I'm like, I know these guys, And so when they were so good. And when I took a break, and Billy was filling in because he works at a music school that I substitute for, this music school on the island. I'm giving a shout out to Island Music School. And so I'm like, Billy, man, it was so cool, man. Your drumming's amazing. He plays guitar, he plays bass, he plays drums. And I said something to him. It's just a 3-piece. And I said, you know what, Billy? I'm looking to join a band for a while here. I mean, can you imagine? You add me to this project, how much more music you do? I can do Fleetwood Mac, I can do Alanis Morissette, I start rambling off. And he kind of just blew me off. And he's like, well, and I'm in this project and I'm in this project and we're so busy and it's just the way it is. And, and he just kind of like didn't even hear what I was saying. And it just so frustrates me, so I mostly work solo, and occasionally, I sit in with bands, they'll like see me in the audience. Oh, Justina's here. Let's do a song, But yeah, I find that as a problem down in the Florida Keys, there's not many females that are fronting bands, very, very male oriented, or just they're out doing solo stuff. But man, I'm a good front man. I rock it. I capture the audience. I have people after my performance are like, oh my God, where are you? Where you been? What's going on? Tell me more about you, and it's so exciting, to get a fan base like that. So you Florida Keys people out there, Justina Lee Black, ready to front your band, baby, because I'll tell you what, I'll bring you to the next level. Yeah, I have a lot of fun. I have no fear now, on stage.
You got to promote it. You got to promote yourself.
Yeah.
I appreciate for your insight because it is something that uh, I didn't realize that was something that I was doing, and I've been trying to rectify it. So
Oh, thank you for that.
my band has definitely been trying to be a little more eclectic with our lineups, and even even genre wise, we're not even just sticking in our same genre when we're putting shows together. Like there's so many people out there, and there's so many styles of music out there that
Yep.
you can't just stick and get pigeonholed down the tunnel. You gotta branch out. So
Yep.
I
Yep.
appreciate your insight. Um,
Thank you.
real quick, and we're gonna I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions, but I told Guy at the beginning of the show, and that I wanted to hear him do a song because as a host, I haven't had Guy sing a song, and since we have another songwriter on here, I would love for Guy to get up and you know sing us a song as a singer songwriter.
Aw.
It's cool to
Yeah,
have two
sure,
singer
man. Let me get my
together.
get a
You know,
quick sound check here. Make sure I got my stuff turned off. Let me go. I got to go over here this one side and do something. But yeah, I'd love to sing you a song. I ain't done one on here in a while.
yeah, it's been a minute. Been a minute.
All right.
Early
I think I got. Is it coming through all right? Am I too loud to anything?
I can hear it good.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I'm trying to make sure I got. All right. Is that coming through all right? All right, cool. All right. Well, I've been in a hurry since I don't know when. Gotta bring it on back, start over again. Yeah, bring it on back to a nice slow pace, the kind where a guy like me wins the race. You slow it on down, take the time it takes to take a real good look around. Yeah, bring it on back to a nice slow pace, the kind where a guy like me wins the race. Well, I got me a woman, yeah, she's better than most. Yeah, I get the space I need to really cut and loose. Yeah, she slows it on down to a nice slow pace, the kind where a guy like me wins the race. You slow it on down, take the time it takes to take a real good look around. Yeah, bring it on back to a nice slow pace, the kind where a guy like me wins the race. Let's slow it down. Slow it on down, take the time it takes to take a real good look around. Yeah, bring it on back to a nice slow pace, the kind where a guy like me wins the race. Hey, I got a round of applause, man.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's fun. Thanks, man.
that's awesome.
So it was such an honor to have you on the show, Justina. And I just want to ask, what's coming up for you? What do you got going on coming in the future? You got any songs coming out? You got any shows coming up? What's next for Justina?
You know what I put out to the world eventually? I mean, recently is I want to buy a Winnebago, just a small
Yeah,
one. You know,
yeah.
I met a solo female artist down in the Florida Keys, and she's touring the nation in a Winnebago. And ironically, I was up in Michigan working at my girlfriend's bar. I bartended on and off throughout the years, like a lot of us people do, and jump back in food and bev. And she comes walking in with her guitar, and I'm in Michigan. I met this girl in the Florida Keys. I'm like, Caitlin, what are you doing? What's going on? Oh, well, you just happened to be here for a gig, and they called me and they needed me, and I just happened to be in Michigan. So after her show, yeah, she played it where it was working. So after her show, I sat her down. I said, "Tell me more. What are you doing?" And that's what she does. So I
That's
got kind of
awesome.
this thing going on in my life, after last summer, seeing her, I'm like, I can do that. So I want to, and I met this other couple at a library, and they do library gigs. And you know what? The libraries pay pretty good.
Hmm,
They do, and they
hmm.
love singer-songwriters. So I
That's
went to
cool.
their event, and I learned about, and they're going to Ireland, and they're going to all these places. I'm like, huh? And they said,
Dang,
yeah, we've seen the world just by going to these small
that's
little
awesome.
dinky venues,
Yeah.
coffee houses and stuff like that. But libraries pay. I didn't know that. So yeah, Winnebago. I've been experiencing the RV life. I think that's kind of a great way to see the nation. You can go the
Hmm.
southern route and take and then in the wintertime you go south in the winter and north in the summer and see the whole nation that way and just book all these gigs. And what a great way to see the nation.
That's
So that's
awesome.
kind of
Yeah, yeah.
I'm exploring it. I met a couple gals down here in the Florida Keys that are RVing it from the Midwest, and they live down here now in RVs, and I've been in their places, and they're kind of teaching me the ropes. And so I'm like, if these two chicks can do it, I'm like, I can do this and hit the road. So I'm really think that's going to open up some really cool paths for me to see the nation, do what I love doing. And, this darling person that's come into my life recently is, he says to me, it's not about the money, right? And he says, it's really not. Because when you do what's in your heart and you follow your dreams, the money always follows, and
Yeah.
for me, it's just being comfortable. I mean, if the riches come, then, glory to God, I can just do more of God's work. But just want to be comfortable and be safe, and
Yeah.
the country.
Yeah.
So, and then you want to do, I'm gonna let people know, keep like a little journal of, my escapades and you write music
Yeah.
along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like the life to me.
Yeah,
Sounds
I'm ready
awesome.
to do that. I'm a grandma now. My kids have great
Yeah.
lives, and I
Why
do a
not?
lot of video chatting with them anyways these days. So they're used to seeing Grandma Jessie online. It's my
Yeah.
grandma name, Grandma Jessie.
That's cool. Really cool.
Well, I appreciate you for hanging out with me and Guy, and I appreciate you, Guy, for being on the show with me. And
Oh,
thank you
dude,
Yeah,
for all.
thank
thanks,
you for
guys.
having me. Glad to be here. It was great to meet you, Justina. You definitely have the name for it. Justina Lee Black definitely is one of those names that's a good, it rolls off your tongue
I
well,
always was the
and
black sheep of my family. So.
and you definitely have a story and a charisma to go along with it, which is,
Thanks.
that makes that definitely elevates your game, because there's a lot of folks that, well, I mean, it's impressive just to ask somebody to do something and then be able to do it, because knowing from the side of it, of being a performer, it's not as easy as what it seems sometimes. Sometimes your nerves will be there and it's hard to shake them and you can't hold on your guitar pick and you're worried you can't remember words that you've sang for the last 25 years. So I commend
Yeah,
you
the truth.
for just being strong enough to share. And like Pharaoh said earlier, there's a power within a few words sometimes that can change the outlook of somebody's whole
Yeah.
entire life. And, realizing that just stringing a couple words together of how I feel and giving somebody a shared connection that maybe they don't know me, maybe they've never met me, but they can feel me. They feel what I'm saying, whether it be in a happy way or a sad way. Some of my favorite songs, I got to hold back tears because it's still it connects with my soul. It's supper for my soul. That's how I refer to my music. It's how I refer to music that I love. It feeds my soul in a way that I can't explain. So being willing to share your songs with people and your words with people, it's truly a gift for the world. And I thank you. I appreciate you and commend
Yeah,
you
and
for
you
that.
know what? The stories don't go away, especially with digital music nowadays. They'll be there forever,
Mhm.
ever and ever.
It's a chronicle of your life if you want to let it be. It's a chronicle.
Thank you for that.
True.
So true. Thanks, Farrell. Thanks for
Absolutely.
having this type of show to bring it out for us.
No, thank you for being our guest. We're gonna close out with a song from the Heavy Hitters,
Heavy hitters.
and then uh, Justina, we want you to just hang back after the show. We just want to chat with you a little bit.
All
But
right.
for everybody else, we're gonna close out with this. I'm gonna play a song from the Heavy Hitters.
The heavy hitters. Hey, shout out to everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. We be jamming.
Your nails got comic reviews that match with your shoes, match with the bag that you got from the avenue, and I think you fine. But I'd be lying if I said that I really vibe with your attitude. You know the one that I'm talking about. This ain't no time to play innocent. You know the vanity's the reason we keep on paying to memberships. Lifting weights up in the makeup for selfies. I am just glad that you healthy. You ain't gotta sell me on the value of doing some reps. But what about your mental? All your uniqueness, this song is about you. With all due respect, you know so high in the air that rain, you drown in the breath. Why you so vain? I know those hills when you do pain. Something that you cannot explain. I gotta know. Maybe it's ego, maybe it's this or it's that, or maybe this college insanity. Look at the wear, look at the pair, know the fate of my car is a vanity. Insecurities, with my security stock is so Irish, I'm doubling up. Stack dick in the money clip, use a piano now watch me strut. I am the pinnacle off of the drink. If you got beef in the week and sausage, greatest artist, free to give me a stage and award a bouquet. Is that a corsage? Coming up six in love with my image and a girl named Mirage. That I'm a notch, not doing bad, I'm just doing good. Place in Chicago, I deserve them. Sold out a show, sold out my merch, sold out my band, head back and I laugh. My face on the shirt, my feet on the earth. I'm Mike in the crowd, my head in my glass. Bull never ever to have.